Hello, hello, hello. This is Andy over at the Facebook Live TV show, and I'm forgetting where my camera is on my iPad. I'm using my iPad now. I think it's right there. Yes, it's right there. What I'm going to show you now is I'm going to pull the curtains back on this new studio that I'm creating in my garage, and just show you a few things that are going on here, and a few things that I'm using as far as tools and that kind of stuff. Right now I'm using Switcher to be able to do this and show you. So here is a side view from this camera right over here, which I'm going to later take off of the holder that it's on right now. But you can see now that I'm actually inside my garage. If I were to go back over here, and this were to be my webcam, you would not really know the difference. I've kind of dimmed a couple of lights. They're not actually the main light. I've dimmed a little bit, so it looks a little bit darker, probably also because I'm getting blocked by my iPad there. So let's see, if I were to step out, yeah, it woed be a little bit more, but I have it dimmed down just a touch. And I'm sorry, I keep looking at the video, and this is a common mistake, right? When you're not used to using certain kinds of equipment, you begin to now look at different spots that aren't very effective, right? We want to make sure and look at our audience right there at the camera, and not looking over here like I'm looking over their shoulder. So that would be bad practice. But I would say I've used my iPad once in the, I think I'm up to 200 live Facebook, 200 and something live Facebook broadcast that I've done. So back over here is I'm going to switch back over to now this other camera, which is now over here, which, oops, no, it looks like it's frozen or offline. And let me show you as I move over. I'm going to see if maybe it went down. Yep, looks, it's still on. But for whatever reason, it looks like it is down because it has me posing on the last shot that I'm doing there. Let's see if I can bring it back online. Let's see here. I'm going to give this a shot and see if I can do this on the fly. Take it offline, cameras. I'm going to take it offline and then bring it back online and see if that fixes the problem. So what I'm doing is I'm using an iPad as my main camera. My mic is hooked up directly to my iPad using a Sennheiser wires connection. Oh, I'm getting a phone call on that phone now. So let's go ahead and switch back, and I'll wait for that phone call to end and see if I can reconnect with that phone. All right, so I'm going to reconnect or re-establish this camera as being my main camera. But anyway, as you notice, this is no longer a green screen. I put up this wood backing. I like the wood backing. I got a couple comments earlier that it looks like I'm in South Carolina, or that I should be doing a home makeover show or something like that, which, you know what, I probably could do a home makeover show. Over the next couple of days, I'm going to be building a lot, not just here, but my son wants me to build him a skate park in the backyard, so I'm going to be doing a lot of building, a lot of sawing. Hopefully I have all my digits when I'm done and don't have any smashed fingers from the hammers. But anyway, so back to this background. I like this. It also goes well with my dog training. If it's not working out for my marketing, my social media marketing, what I figured is it's easy to dress up. It's easy to put a green screen over it and use another background. And so I think there's multiple things I can do with this particular thing. So let me go ahead and go back over to my other camera over there now and see what happened to it. So I'm going to move over here. You may not be able to see me as I go back over to this camera. So I'm going to remote camera. And it's got the IP address, almost said IPA, the IP address. And so now I'm going to connect with that camera. And it's not showing up on the list. Very interesting. I wonder if I need to close out that app all of a sudden. And so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take you with me. I'm going to come over here and get this camera and take you with me as I show you what it is I have going on. So this app I'm using is called Switcher. Switcher is a pretty cool app that goes on an iPad or an iPhone. So let's see if I can get an angle so it doesn't cause you too much weirdness. There we go. Okay, wow, this is so hard. And so it's allowing me to switch. So if I want to switch back to this camera, I just bring it up in the preview. Wow, how can I do this? I can just bring it in the preview and hit go, and it'll change over to this camera now. All right, so if I want to bring this camera back, I just touch it and then bring it back over here, and so now I'm back on the camera that's in my hand. So let's go over, I'm going to go over to this camera and see if I can't close it out. Again, I hope this is interesting to some people. Look, it says that it's operating there, and it is given the IP address and all that kind of stuff, waiting for connection, but it's not showing up on the list. So what I'm going to do is go back. I'm going to actually close out all of these. I have a whole bunch of applications open. Wow, more than I even remember. There we go. All right, so I'm going to go back to the Switcher app. It's going to ask me if I want to connect via phone, camera mode only, and this one I want camera mode only, and there is the IP address. Now let's go back over to the app. I'm going to try this again and see if it will recognize. So I hit the plus sign, it brings up the window, I hit cameras, and there's my phone. All I do is touch it, and now it should, as soon as I get that check mark, it's back on. So here it is. I get to make that up here. And now you can see now that camera, which I was holding onto the app, is what's showing now. All right, so that is Switcher. And so I'm going to use Switcher now to kind of generally show you some of the tools that I'm using in my studio. So back here, you can see I have a light here. It's a box light that it comes in a set, which actually includes a green screen and stands and light bulbs for the box light. So you actually get 3 box lights. That item that you could purchase it on Amazon is on the list for the equipment that I use in my studio. So you can find that in the notes section of the Facebook page. All right, all that is in there, and you just click on that and it'll be available to you. So this box light is one that I'm using. This ring light is not 100% necessary, except for I do like it to add a little bit of lighting. Later on, I'm going to add some lighting behind me that shines up on to my background. For green screens, that's even better. It takes away a lot of the shadows that you will get from iPads and microphones and that kind of stuff that can cause you some grief on those green screens. You obviously have to make sure you have electrical source. That's an obvious thing. And try not to overwhelm one single outlet. You want to try to use a couple different outlets, and that way you're not overwhelming one with a whole bunch of stuff, although these things are pretty low now. In the past, I've used lighting that was extremely hot. It had to use a lot of power. I'm not sure what the numbers are in regard to megahertz or gigahertz or hemoglobins, whatever it is that they use. However, I know the old lights used to use a lot of power. Now, because they're fluorescent, use very little power, so it's really not that big of a deal. This light here, this ring light, oops, which camera am I on? I want to make sure I remember. Okay, good. So I'm going to show you from the front end this ring light. This ring light I got from Mike Koenigs for assisting on a Publish and Profit. It's separately, I don't even know how much it is. It is on the list for things. You can see my son's scooter behind there. But let me go behind it so the light isn't overwhelming the camera. But very easy, you can make these adjustments here so the lighting gets stronger. You can see it gets stronger and off and then on again. So you can adjust the light according to what your needs are so that you're not blowing yourself out. And then if you really need a lot of lighting because of the distance or whatever, you can create more light. But it comes with a stand, comes with the light itself, and you hook your phone or your camera directly here, and it is in the middle of the camera. But right now I'm not using it obviously for that. And then of course here is my second box light. You have your switches back here, which allows you to turn on one light or two. So if I show you, you can see that it reduces it greatly. I probably don't need both on, but or there's both off, one on, two on, right? And those switches are right back here. Again, this comes in a set and actually comes in this bag, which is right down here, which includes this green screen, which you see right here. Here's another light that I have that I really like to use. It's a pretty powerful light, but that's one of those lights that draws a lot of power and gets super, super hot and get you super sweaty. And I have a couple more lights on standby that I have that are from another set that I got a long time ago. It's one of the sets that did not get stolen in the big burglary that I had here at my house. All right, the next thing I want to show you is the mic, which I use right now, and I'm getting ready to change mics, probably to another blue. This blue is a really good mic. The sound, when you hear my other broadcast, I think does a really good job, and it captures pretty well. When I was doing an earlier broadcast, I actually got away from the camera a little bit, and it actually sounded pretty good. It wasn't it wasn't losing much of the sound as I got about 4 or 5 feet away from the camera. So it's a pretty good mic for picking up, and you have different settings that you can use, which are back here, for different things that you're doing. So you can switch it so that it just is very narrow in its picking up the sound, or it's wider in picking up its sound, cutting out the ambient noise and that kind of stuff. All right, so that's the mic I use. There is my MacBook Pro, which all of you have seen a computer, but some of you wonder about what I'm using sometimes, and this is the Mimo Live that I use, and this is the last broadcast I use, and you can see the green screen. So here's what it looks like, normally is that green paint that I put on there, using this particular paint that I have right here, this Rust-Oleum green paint, and then this is what it looks like with the green screen, oh my gosh, chroma key. Chroma keying out that green screen is right there. All right, and there's the actual picture that I use that's up there. So that's using Mimo Live. And then the 920 camera, when I'm using my computer, is right here. All right, so it's a good 920. It's on right now because obviously you saw me using my camera over there. And it's just hooked up to this tripod, slick tripod, which is probably overkill for that camera. But I do have another camera that I connect to it that's a little bit heavier, and I use it in high traffic areas sometimes when I am running interviews at Super Zoo. I like to have the heavier duty tripod at those events because a lot of people kick them, and it's pretty sturdy and it won't get knocked over very easily. The tripod that you saw over here, let me go ahead and switch back. I hope this isn't making you guys sick by me doing this. But if I come back over here and show you this one, you've seen this on the list too. It's a Mi Photo tripod. It actually has the stand, comes with the support for the iPhone, and I really like this. Again, it's on the list, and it is a really good portable, quick to set up, and connects to that iPhone so that you can use the phone in a moment's notice and get it set up really fast. I really like Mi Photo products a lot. Here, what I have going on is I have a tripod, but it wasn't high enough. This is as high as it got, which is about at my belly button level. And then I have a clippy support, which then connects to the iPad holder. And again, all these are on that list. And then is holding my iPad Pro so that I can do this particular broadcast. All right. So that's a little bit of a look at pulling back the curtains on what I'm currently working on. This is not going to be it. This is just the beginning of what I have planned for setting up the studio. I have plenty of room, as you can see, still plenty of room. I'm going to be putting probably some type of corner configuration here. It'll just fold out. It'll be on a hinge, and then I'll fold it out, and it'll be something that has. People love to call me when I'm on a broadcast. It will have. Maybe the look of, what is that called? Like paper. Oops. The camera that I was on, the phone that was ringing, and it closed out the camera angle. But in this particular angle here, gosh darn it, now I can't show you what I was talking about. I'm really trying to think of what the name of that thing is. A divider, a room divider. Oh, thank you for nobody that helped me. But a room divider that is kind of like a paper, or Chinese paper type of thing. You've seen it probably on, oops, I didn't switch over to the camera. It's probably, you've probably seen it in like one of Mike Koenig's or Pam Hendrickson's live streams or videos that they ran. And then put a chair right here that I can sit at, or 2 chairs, and I can interview somebody. So in this corner with this different angle, right now I have just those 2 cupboards set up and that kind of stuff. But just imagine a fold-out piece of plywood with something attached to it that gives me a really cool background. That will be in that corner. That's all I was meaning to say. And sorry, my other camera went dead because again somebody called me on it. All right, so let's go ahead and come back to this. You want to make sure and make that turn that ability off for somebody to call you, so that you don't get that happening, which would be like airplane mode, and you can just use which I wonder if you can. I wonder if that's how you do it. If anybody knows, I've never tried to do that. Let me go ahead and go to I can't see any of the comments, although the update for Switcher did say that you would be able to see some of the comments in on a Facebook Live broadcast, but I don't see any of those anywhere where I could see the comments. Advanced settings, no, I don't think that would be it. I'm afraid to touch anything. I don't want it to go bye-bye. So I know I have 13 people watching, that I know, but I don't see any comments. If anybody's had any questions, Switcher is just an app you get on your smartphone, on your iPhone, and I could put a link. I'll put a link up for that so that you can check that out, and remember to turn your phones off. You know, that's a good idea. Let's do that right now. Nobody gave me the idea, but I know somebody was thinking it. Let's check it out now. Let's turn the phone to airplane mode. Okay, we're going to go to airplane mode and check that. Airplane mode. All right, we're going to go ahead and open Switcher again. Nope, I guess you can't. So we got to go back to settings. So how can I turn off cellular? Let's see, cellular. I guess I'd have to turn off, well no, if I turn off, oh yeah, if I turn off cellular. So let me turn off cellular. Now, of course, nobody will call me. Let's see who was calling me. Oh, my daughter was calling me at Chrysler's. All right, so if I now turn on remote, I'm going to see if it'll work if I turned off cellular. Maybe that is the solution. Somebody should answer me on Facebook to let me know if that is the solution. So right back here, oops. I went over there thinking you can see me the whole time. I did it again. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn off. That is a camera. Sorry about that. I was over there and you heard me talking, but I wasn't showing that particular camera. I'm trying to do too many things at once. All right, so it's on the list. I'm going to hit it again. Okay, here we go. Sorry, I did it. All right, camera. Andy's phone. All right, done. All right, so I turned off cellular data, or data roaming, I guess it is. I turned off the data over there on that particular phone that we're looking at the view, and it still works. So maybe that's the solution. So if I turn off the cellular, then if somebody's trying to call me, it won't knock the camera off, because that's obviously a problem, right? That twice while I was doing this broadcast, somebody called me and disconnected that particular camera or that particular phone. So good to know. All right, what else can I show you? I think that I've had showed you. I have another gizmo over here that is a GoPro. For when I'm recording, you're going to see some of the GoPro footage that I'm going to put a video together on the building of the studio. And I think I just about covered everything. Currently I stand. I like to stand. I like to move a lot when I'm on these broadcasts, and so I feel a little bit more comfortable. Some of the broadcasts get a little long, and so by the time I get done, I'm exhausted. My feet are tired, and also the angle of reaching down and checking out things just sometimes makes it a little bit too much as I'm looking down at my camera when my camera is up right there. So what I'm going to probably do is get a stool, bring myself down just a little bit so there's not so much looking up and down all the time, and we'll take some of the pressure of standing here the entire time. So, all right, so I talked about the mics. I didn't show you the Sennheiser setup, so which is probably somebody was screaming at me and saying, hey, I want to see the Sennheiser setup, which probably nobody was. All right, so here is the Sennheiser. This is the transmitter. Or no, I'm sorry, the receiver. Do that every time. This is the receiver. The receiver connects to what is called an iRig Pre. The iRig Pre. Use the 3-pin plug in that goes in. So it comes from my Sennheiser, 3-pin plug into the iRig Pre, and then up to my either iPhone or iPad, and plugs into the jack for your earphones. Connects right inside that jack. And then I have my wireless mic, and this is the transmitter, right? So the transmitter is on me, transmit to the receiver, and then up to the iPad, and that's how you're getting sound right now. And so it's a little bit costly. Let me bring you over here. I'm going to bring you the other mic. And so you've seen me do this before when I'm using this particular mic. the Sennheiser handheld wireless mic. And you see me do interviews like at Super Zoo and some of Mike Koenig's events where we're interviewing people, and that is the mic that I'm using at those events. It's a wireless mic that transmits to that receiver, the very same transmitter that goes into the iRig Pre that then connects to my iPhone. So this mic alone, I think, was $500 for just the mic. For the transmitter and the receiver, I believe that was like $700. So together, it's about $1,200, I think, for both. They're very sturdy. I have them in my backpack. They've traveled every place I've went over the last 2 or 3 years, I think, and are hardy things. The only thing right now I can see that I have going on, that it's from all the traveling, and I should have did a better job of protecting it, is that you see this wire is starting to get frayed here. These cables, these connections are not cheap. I believe it's like $60 or $70 just to replace this mic cable that goes to the transmitter. So that's an unfortunate situation. All right, so let's see. I added another viewer on there. Let's see if there's any comments. I'm on the Facebook Live TV show Facebook page, so if anybody's commenting on any other pages, I'm not seeing your comments. Added another one. 15 viewers currently. All right, so that is that. These are the setup. These are the things that I use. This mic is when I'm connected to my computer and using my webcam. So the webcam you saw earlier, and that is just simply the configuration I'm using for that. Now let's just take that one thing for those of you who want to understand the setup for when I'm doing a broadcast where I'm sharing my screen. I'm using my iPad, I'm using my MacBook Pro. I connect my mic, my blue mic, and my camera using the splitter here because I need to use one USB connection for both the mic and the camera. Works out really well and goes right into that USB port. Over here I have my webcam, my Logitech 920. All right, so that's connected. Those are the connections. The webcam and the mic are plugged into my computer. I don't do it now, but the reason I keep a USB port open, because there's only 2 on this particular MacBook Pro, I keep one open because that's where I normally connect my wired Ethernet to my modem. It goes right inside there. That's why I keep one open, and that's why I have 2 on one. And so then I have that connection there. And that's all I need. I use BeLive quite often from my computer. And I use Mimo Live as the camera so that I can use the green screen and do that kind of stuff. So that's the setup for just doing a broadcast. I like BeLive because I can see the comments while I am broadcasting, and I can interact with people. I can put up lower thirds. I now can put in an agenda item, so 1 through 5 or 1 through 10. I can do the agenda items as I'm going through my broadcast, and those are actually on BeLive, and makes it very, very nice. So that's the configuration for just doing the broadcast. I have the lighting set up, and I have the background and sometimes the green screen for doing that. All right. What I'm using now to broadcast to you on this particular show is something called Switcher. Switcher allows me to use multiple cameras, so I can do what I'm doing today: show you around the studio. My plan to do some the broadcast with this particular software is for dog training, so that I could speak to the audience, right, doing something like this, and then go to another camera that shows a different part of the garage, possibly, or even outside, where I can show some dog training tips. So I can go from here, go get the dog, and then have more room to demonstrate something with the dog. All right, and then when I want to talk back with the folks about something very important, then I come back to the main camera, which would be my iPad. And it can be your phone too. It doesn't have to be an iPad. I like the iPad because it's bigger and allows me a little bit more freedom to hit things. You can put up graphics, you can put up pictures, you can put in videos and play videos using Switcher that are on your iPad. You can use pictures that are on your iPad and put those up. As you may have seen if you're here from the beginning, I actually did have a picture of saying we'll be getting started shortly. Here's a picture of a dog. And so that is on my iPad, and so you can go through those pictures that you have already preloaded into your broadcast, and you have videos preloaded into your broadcast. Those are the ones that are going to show up right here. Actually, let me go to the other camera so you can see what that looks like. All right, so down here are your assets. So depending on what it is you want to show, so this is a video, I don't want to show that because it's very shaky and not a very good one. But if you want to show this picture, it comes up in the preview, and then when you hit preview live, it goes to live. All right, and then obviously you can't see this. Oh, no, you can't because I'm on, oh no, you're not. If I want to go back to the camera, then I come back to the camera and put in the preview. If I want to go back to this camera, I go in the preview and I hit go live, and it changes over just like that. All right, so that's how you use the switcher. I don't remember how much it is. I want to say that it's, I believe it was $19.99. I believe now $20 or $19.99 when I bought it. I don't know what it is now, and I don't think it shows up here. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Download the app. Let's see here. Does it say how much it is? I'm looking at my computer, and it is not telling me the price. Why would it not tell you the price? Oh, it's free. Free? It's free, I guess. And so go ahead and get it now. All right, and give it a shot and see how it works for you. For some reason, I think I paid for it, but maybe not. All right, so that is it. I think I've done enough damage. I probably made you guys sick enough going through all the different things around here, but a little bit of this was partly a test for me to use Switcher in the studio and to kind of get used to using it. But also, I just wanted to share it with you and share you some of the equipment that I'm using currently in the studio. All right, that is it, and I will talk to you later. Take care. Bye.